to the first episode of Coach's Meeting. This is Robbie Schaefer, and I'm here with
Jim Schaefer in Toledo, Ohio.
So some of you may have seen a previous episode that was up for all of a good 15, 20 minutes earlier last week, which was quickly taken down at the request of my co-host for
and the FCC.
Law licenses may have been revoked upon further sharing. Anyways, we're going to call that the leaked episode, the hidden tapes, as you were. We're going to try to keep it relevant. That's a big task to stay on. Try not to go down too many deep, dark rabbit holes while one of the co-hosts pontificates. But we'll stay on track. We got a couple things we're going to get through.
Are you calling this a coach's show? You got to redo that, huh?
What I said, the coaches' meetings. That's what we're going with. This is our coaches' meeting.
That means there's alcohol involved.
And for those who don't know the coaches' meeting, given that the first episode where we described it has since been hidden away, coaches' meeting came about as a term I knew growing up. Dad, how would you describe coaches' meetings to you?
Well, I'll tell you how it started. I started coaching with a person that is no longer with us. He tragically died young of colon cancer, but he and I coached together, and we were going over plays and stuff. He said, well, why don't we have a coaches meeting at your house after practice? I said, okay. So I went back home, and I got the clipboard out with the basketball court and notepad, and he shows up with a case of Bud Light and says, you ready for the coaches meeting? I said, sure. What are we going to talk about? He says, oh, that's just what I tell my wife. We're here to watch sports and talk about basketball and have a few beers. That's all. So that's what we did.
So, and I started out making many beer runs at far too young of an age, but got good at it in opening bottles and snapping cans in record time. As we move forward in our next segment, Dad, I'll remind you to talk closer to the mic. Won't be the first time. Well, it might be the first time. Won't be the last. As much as you want to recline in the chair, you're great. Your voice is just too beautiful to sit back from the mic.
Let me turn this way. I can get closer. Mom's got those places.
And for those of you at home listening, think of a time where in a home computer, I don't know if this is a 1990s thing, but this is an observation of the computer floor mat that is basically just a plastic thing with little prongs. That's what Dad's wheeling around in right now. But I think, Dad, would you say it's safe to say that probably anybody who had a home office in the 1990s or 2000s has this plastic floor mat?
Maybe.
I just don't know the utility of it.
I got a wooden one at work, parquet floor. It's like
a nice cherry oak, maybe
4x4. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Moving on. You're nice and comfortable now, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, let's get rolling into what's new. Dad, what's new with you this week?
Well, I'm going to tell you what's new. I got a iMessage from a friend of mine in Chicago saying, hey, you got to see this. And it's my Facebook page for Alex Bevan. Now, I can use that name because he's a public figure. But Alex Bevan was a local kind of celebrity in Cleveland. He was a kind of an acoustic guitar singer. He had a group. He would play at John Carroll quite often, but he played all over Cleveland and all over Northeast Ohio. And he was just talking about playing down in Sharon. But he decided to have a happy hour concert every day during the quarantine. And so, sure enough, I get on there, and he's playing songs that he's funnier than hell, guy. But his most noteworthy song back then was "I'm a Skinny Little Boy from Cleveland, Ohio. Come to chase your women and drink your beer." Joe, a friend of mine, who's from Cleveland, knew every word to that song and would come over and sing it. He said the guy was huge at Bowling Green too. He played at Bowling Green and around colleges in Ohio and coffee houses. But anyway, he's kind of fun to watch every day. I think he's on between 4 and 5.
Where can people listen to him?
Just go to Alex Bevan's Facebook page. I think you'll find it pretty readily. Bevan is Bevin. And
So you've brought that into your nightly listening, huh?
well, I listened to it about 3 or 4 times last week. Enjoyed it. Fridays had the Skinny Little Boy on it. He was playing from his various albums, but when I lived in Cleveland, my junior senior year in college, we lived above a guy by the name of Murray Saul, and that's a public name too. He was the one of the main DJs at WMMS, the Buzzard in Cleveland, and they would sponsor like Bruce Springsteen at the Agora, and it was pretty cool. And Murray was this old guy, DJ, bald, long gray hair, and he would just throw these outrageous parties in our building. And then across the way was Alex Bevan, across the driveway, and we could hear him playing over there. And this is at Euclid Heights Boulevard in Coventry in Cleveland. I used to call it the Haight-Ashbury of Cleveland.
Was this before the river was on fire?
No, it was after, but it was the place was wild. I mean, you had it was a neighborhood that was transferring over from an old Jewish neighborhood back to like hippies, then back to old Jewish neighborhood, and then regentrification professionals. We were halfway between Carroll and Case Western and the Cleveland Clinic. So there were a lot of nurses lived in there, a lot of students. There would be people strumming a guitar in the middle.
As a reminder, this segment is What's New. So the 40-year history is really and just so you know,
it's come back around. So what's new is old.
It's
that's what I'm saying.
And the technology we're working with is so good, Dad, that when you're shaking your drink up and down, we're picking up the ice cubes. So we're just getting ahead of a later segment. So, anyways,
I'll be quiet.
It's just great technology. So, anyways, I guess live concerts and the people, idiots at home making podcasts to put out there. There's a lot of that's new, and that's why we're here to fill the void. But I'll say what's new for us.
Why do you call them idiots?
Well, I guess we'll leave that out to the fans. We'll see. At this point, it's just you and me and people that are just anxiously awaiting the release.
I prefer to think of us as savants.
We'll get there, but I'll do my real quick. What's new? As you saw before our call, 7-year-old dog this week. Goose just turned 7 on March 15th, the Ides of March. And this week, just to prove the old saying wrong, we taught him just in 3 days, taught him to roll over. So we're really things are going just gangbusters over here.
He'll be happy when you go back to work.
He doesn't know what to do with us. He puts himself to bed at 7 o'clock because he's home all day wanting attention. And then we got more stamina, I guess. And he just goes up the stairs, lays in bed, and then we kick him out when we get up there because he's got his own bed. But he puts himself to bed about 7:30, and that's that. And then Goose has, as a 7-year-old dog. Well, I was very proud this week that we got him to roll over. There's a yin and a yang, and the yang is, well, he also this week started to drink out of the toilet, which was not something he's done before, but just he's got a full bowl of water and goes right to the toilet. So something new we're working on. And the other thing we've been doing over here is is this new office podcast studio / guest room, future kids playroom. We had to break out the old bed set, so we now have a broken down bed set that I've been using a circular saw on to break into firewood out back, and I think I'm going to burn down the neighborhood. But we can, there's no laws under quarantine, right?
It's the wild, wild west, baby. You also built a nice storage area in your closet there.
Yeah, that happened today. Went Bob the Builder. I would like to refer to myself at sometimes, although projects are far from Bob Vila-esque. A little baby closet. This kid's giving me the most house projects I'll ever need. And with that, good timing as we're planning for the baby coming and working on projects, and get a leak in the roof. Cap on our chimney's not sealed, so we have that to work on.
Ooh.
We had a leaky pipe, had a plumber here. So this quarantine's going on, and we've had a plumber over, a roofer over, an insurance adjuster over. Claim was withdrawn. they said, wear and tear. But I put it out there. Although they said this can be our finance 101, not that we're in the business of giving that, but they said usually they see if you're going to do a home insurance claim, file if the damage is 3 times the deductible. We're not financial advisors. Well, what am I talking about? Yes, I am. Well, we're not giving financial advice here over the airwaves, but that's the latest what's new. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just kind of getting stir crazy. There are a lot of people play golf at Sylvania this week, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and that's Dad. You don't realize it, but you have a knack for segues, and that golf segue goes into our next sports-related topic.
Let me ask you now. At your place, what they did at ours is they turned the cups upside down and inverted them, so the ball will actually go in there. It just doesn't drop down. I mean, you can whack it out of there with your putter. Yeah. I don't even know why you have flags.
Ours are just elevated. Why don't they just play winter greens?
Oh, yours are elevated down above the.
Yeah, they just have the cup up like an inch or whatever. But if it's all the same, don't they? Isn't it like with winter greens? You just like put a flag in, or like how the hell does that work?
They put the flags in the fairways at our place.
Oh.
They cut the cup in front of the greens, and then they don't have it on the green where the cup is. They put an insert, and just so it keeps the size of it. You know, I don't want to describe it.
I think clubs should do little like. Actually, I don't know. I think they could do some types of contests where you put circles around closest to the pin type stuff. I don't know. They're gonna have to do everything they can. But did you hear? Not necessarily country club related, but Trump in his speech that he just gave was saying they're considering the business deduction for businesses on travel and expenses and meals and expenses.
Meals, yeah. Hopefully it'll save the country clubs. So there's going to be a consolidation of a lot of things. I think you're going to see consolidation of hospitals, country clubs, recreational clubs, health clubs. Any place is kind of non-essential. I think you're going to see some resorts close down. I mean, Florida, if you go down the Gulf Coast of Florida, the golf courses from top to bottom, from Tampa to Marco Island, there's a ton. And, they're going to be hurting. A bunch of those are going to be hurting. There's going to be some good deals, and I think there's going to be some good deals in real estate down there. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving with golf, in a day where we're dreaming of getting out and playing somewhere.
Oh, let me ask you this: Is your place have carts going?
They just amended for carts with medical exemptions or whatever. You could probably qualify.
I could.
You of all people need to be in the house.
Why? I need fresh air.
You need 30 days. You need 30 days in the hole.
So I'll tell you what happened this week. One friend of mine who you worked for a time. No, senior project was with. He was playing golf and he stopped by to have a drink, and we stayed about 20 feet away from each other. And he put a bottle of scotch on the patio there, and then neighbor across the street stopped over, and then 2 other guys playing that are good friends came by, and we sat in a circle where everybody wasn't any closer than 12 feet probably. And then the one guy sat on a fire pit. He didn't want to get any closer than the fire pit. You know how far that is from the rocking chairs. Yeah. So we had a cocktail, and then they went on and finished the round, and I sat in the rocking chair. That was Wednesday, I think. It was about Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday. It was Thursday. It was Thursday, and it was about 64 degrees, 65 degrees here. Which I heard you were 75 this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got in the 70s this weekend. The forecast, we really lucked out. But today was all wind. Yesterday was overcast at times, but got nice. But my good deed found, in addition to all the good things I do on a regular basis, when I was doing home projects, found an old box where we had 5 N95 masks from when I redid the bathroom.
Oh.
So those are hot commodity.
They're mailed to your dad as we speak, right?
You already had some, I thought.
No, I got one that a pharmacist buddy dropped by, and I got one that's kind of covered with spray paint I used when I was spray painting last summer.
Well, I had 3 that I gave to friends that are both doctors and have a young child at home. So they're well. I'll send you mine if you need it.
No.
All right. Well, for the 3rd time, we're going to try to get into this sports-related topic of your dream golf foursome for a golf trip. So this is you're checking in. You're going to do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know how many holes you're playing, different games, but you're going to have to hang out with these people for a bit, and they're going to have to hang out with you, which is no short order. So, given that any thought, and I would say keep it. Let's not get I want family related type things. We'll go sports, celebrities, public figures, well known folks.
Well, I'm well known.
You're not the caddy. You are playing in this foursome. So give me 3 golfers. Or no, it doesn't have to be golfers.
Ooh. In their prime? Or now?
It doesn't have to be golfers. It can be, I keep saying it, but anybody. Anybody you would want for a golf trip.
Well, I do my dream golf trips now with my buddies.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll try.
All right. So started. I'll tell you. I'll get you going. I would say. I would say. I'm always disappointed in some of these guys. I'd say.
Shaking the glass. We can really pick it up.
Sorry about that. It makes me think. Well,
I'll just go here and get you.
I would probably do this. Well, there's one group would be fun. Would be Dwight Eisenhower, Gerald Ford, and Bush Sr. And they all played golf, and they played a lot of golf, and they would be fun to hear all the stories.
Mm-hmm.
If it was golfers, I'd say Bobby Jones.
You get to mix and match here. It's not categories. You get 3 people.
Well, no, we're going to invite 32 people to this. There's no way you can invite 3.
All right. So round of golf's done, and you're ready to just. What are you going to do? Play catch with. You say George W. or George H.W.?
George H.W.
You're going to go in the back and play. He's a big baseball fan. Throw it around with him, or maybe play 2-on-2 tap football with Gerald Ford.
No, I think we would just sit and have a cocktail and talk about World War II, Watergate, and the Reagan years. How's that?
Oh wow, that's a wild bunch. And you think are you the Eddie Haskell in that group? Like what?
No, I'm on Mount Rushmore with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd go number 1 for the group for the good times, knowing that I think I'm a 16 or 17 right now. Rodney Dangerfield, number 1. And for a golf trip, you got to be kidding me if he's not in there.
Well, you can hire that entertainment.
No. You
got to put Robin Williams in there then.
He does a stand-up bit. I've never seen video on him on golfing.
Well, he can do stand-up at night after we're done.
Some people would say Bill Murray, but I gotta think Bill Murray's a little too. He's a little too much. It's too much exposure. He's been out there. He's overplayed.
Too old for you?
No, I think he's great, but if I'm doing that, I got Dangerfield. I couldn't afford the gambling games with Michael Jordan on the side, he probably would be terrible the rest of the weekend if you guys were splitting an Airbnb together. No, I'd pass on Jordan.
Charles
Charles is in there. So I got Dangerfield, Barkley. And I'm trying to think on the last one I'd go with sports, public figures. Ah,
Johnny Carson.
the late night talk show hosts seem to be a good idea for.
Well, you know who's a really good golfer is.
I'd go with Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders is the last guy, assuming he golfs.
No, but the one guy who does he's on the Today Show, and he's also got his own show. Carson Daly played college golf.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he was like a champion. He was playing against Tiger Woods back in the day.
Okay, all right. So you're going with Eisenhower, Bush,
and who? In their prime, Gerald Ford.
And Gerald Ford. And
yeah, as long as he wears plaid pants.
And I have my foursome: Dangerfield, Barry Sanders, and I can't even remember who else. I'm just thinking about all that. What's that?
It's at Barkley.
Oh, yeah. You got two sports guys, a comedian. Yeah, I mean my trip's going to be a lot better. One, Charles has he'd provide the entertainment. We'd be gambling. I don't even know. Well, but Barry Sanders, I just want to know I left me high and dry as a eighth grader and just retired. Could have my formative years. The best in football just walked away.
Have you seen who plays for the Angels? The best player in baseball, actually.
Trout?
Yeah. Have you seen the tapes on him doing trick shots with a golf ball?
Oh yeah,
he's killed and just busting it. He's got phenomenal hand-eye coordination.
It's the hip turn.
Yeah.
How fast do you go through the zone?
What are you drinking?
I'm getting ready for our booze review. And I noticed your glass is getting low, and the listeners at home can tell from all the ice they've been hearing rattling around. So tell us what you're drinking, Dad.
Watered down scotch, Dewar's.
And you were how old when you had your first scotch? Or how old were you when you started drinking it?
Probably right after law school. I was probably 25.
Why? What decision? Why were you like?
I had Manhattans before that. What is that, Bullet?
Yeah, we got to make a quarantine run to get more. I got a quarter left on a handle of Bullet, and
why don't you use it for hand sanitizer?
Oh, no. I just drink the hand sanitizer.
You got a problem then.
Well, some call it efficiency, but so you drank scotch because what were your other options you're looking at? Were people doing cocktails then? Were you doing martinis? There wasn't vodka sodas. There wasn't whiskey, ginger ale, whiskey Coke.
There were a lot of gin and tonic. Jack and Coke. Martinis. Yeah, martinis and Manhattans. There wasn't.
Now, what's the scoop on Cutty Sark?
I don't know. I used to buy that.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that label, but the label hasn't changed in centuries.
30, 40 years ago. No, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you got your scotch. I got a Bullet neat. I'm like thinking that there's some way to, if I have it neat, people are like, doesn't water it down, but I think it's a bit elitist, and I'm non-elitist. I like what tastes good, and I like it. It's just.
So are you going to tell the folks at home about this thing growing on your face?
Well, seeing as they can't see it, it'd be pretty tough to relate that one. But
it looks like goose gases.
I do have a screenshot that I will be using as a compliment to our post so people can see just what the hell kind of setup we have. You're going to have to rethink your background behind you, like if we're going to take this in the video front. I mean, you could have the open office, but I like to think you probably want to have the Woody Page from Around the Horn on ESPN where he's got all the goofy shit. But anyways, that can be crossed at a later date.
Yes, it can.
We're just working through the kinks. We want all feedback from the folks at home. hopefully people can stand listening to this garbage.
Well, one guy listened and said, "Hey, you threw me under the bus." I said, "Oh, I took that down after Robbie took that down."
Yeah, well, I think we're doing all right.
He,
Anyway,
he
in the very
introduced
least,
me to bourbon.
well, in the what's that?
He introduced me to bourbon.
Oh yeah, well, I
Whose
would
name
say
shall be remain nameless.
they could be a future guest, but we'll let them. We'll leave it up to them to share their stories. In any event,
He did run a. I have one friend that's picked up groceries for us 3 times during this period and left them at a side door. But the other one's the only one that'll pick up booze. So.
oh, that's good. Yeah,
Well, it's an essential business.
And you know what's dangerous, Dad, is if you have all this time on your hands. I don't think you have the fortitude to do it, but you could start doing your own monologues here. You could hold your own 4-hour Colin Cowherd show.
I could.
Or Jim Rome.
I don't like him. Although I listen.
You're a big Jim Rome guy?
No, well, let's put it this. I
like the cut of this guy's jib.
Yeah.
Cloud.
He's Dave. A person we know as Dave likes him. Starting back to his Southern California days. But I don't know. I could do my own thing.
Yeah, you could. It's the world's your oyster. So we're gonna have people be we'll make sure we spread the good news on that when you start recording and you need your side podcast just for more listeners, impressions. It's your pathway to being an influencer. So lastly, we're coming up towards the end, but we're getting to our off the wall segment, which is just the one off the wall question each week of how you want to answer it. But I'm kind of second guessing this now that I've seen your response time when we were giving you a list of things to pick from. So desert island. It's kind of quarantine edition. If you're on a desert island and there's an unlimited stock of this or whatever you would need, 4 things you're packing, and it's not anything for medical conditions. Your doctors will allow you to bring all your needles you need to put in your stomach, your insulin, EpiPens. I'll leave it with that.
4 things I'm packing. One would be your mother.
That's a personal thing.
Oh.
No, you said you're packing her. That's just getting off the wheels. Next 3.
Wow. The Bible. Maker's Mark. Yeah. There's something that needs to. Let's back up a sec. I might get a generator and a refrigerator.
Let's say your spouse is already there. It's a given that your spouse is with you. So 4 things. You're going generator, Bible, Maker's Mark. The thing is, you need
flashlight so I can flag the planes down. With batteries.
That's something. Well, I don't.
Is this a resort island or is this like a deserted island?
You're gonna have to make it your own. I'm going. Kelsey's there. My wife's there. But I'm going. 1, you need hatchet first off.
You can make a hatchet.
Yeah, I just like to start one, get a leg up on the competition.
I think you need a soccer ball with a magic marker.
No, volleyball, and it's a blood handprint. But
your brother's calling him.
Well, he's gonna have to wait. He's trying to crash this thing. He's just gonna have to wait. Definitely. God, you're going hatchet. I gotta think. It's hard for me to not think of like a Hydro Flask water bottle, which is. I guess you could fill an empty coconut, but sanitation things. Is
there fresh water on this island?
Yeah, fresh water. You'll be able to survive on that. I mean, I guess you could overcome the hydro flask if you had a straw.
You probably need.
Well, and actually, with all this pandemic going on, the war on straws, people are kind of quiet on that. But
So you probably need a PF50 sunblock
ooh,
or a hat.
nah, that's fine because my life expectancy on a desert island, like, I'm not really worried about. You know, who's going to even diagnose you with skin cancer at that point? And you're assuming you're on a desert island, you're not getting off.
We are sick people.
Yeah, I mean, you just play it out that way. Hatchet, water bottle. God, damn. I would think king size bed, full bed, good mattress. I would say if it gets wet, like, or worn in, you can just replace it. Um, God, lastly, it's got to be a food. Um, yeah, I'm going pizza. Pizzas that I could always heat up. So that's it. That's my four: pizza, bed, water bottle, hatchet. I think that's. I'll be hanging in there. All right. One final thought. You got anything else?
Well, I think we all need to stay safe. We should watch this concert at 9 o'clock. And I'm thinking we're a few months away from being, for people with like me, being able to go outside. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm hoping you'll be able to.
I know.
I'm hoping you'll be able to get. Yeah, you know. I don't have to say it. It's we are looking at an April 30th isolation date, but I'm telling you, start West Wing over. I'd love to talk West Wing, or we pick a show to watch together, and it's not going to be Tiger King. All right, that's it for today.
Peace out.